We continue with Reishis Chochma. As a schos, we should do tshuva. You know, it's and it has a lot of zor in it, which is misugal to be mamtik to Yiddim and get us out of this golus barachamim. Before I begin, a few announcements. We started yet another new series, Mishle with Bira Gra, Choshva Sefer. Also, there's a lot of, it's going, so it's Omek Kapshat. There's some Kabbalah there, and every line is biting. Also, help us do tshuva and become better people that is the demand of the hour. You have to do tshuva, to be mavir roa gzera, but it's also the koach of Torah there, the goyin, Omek Kapshat. There's a lot of Kabbalah there also. All right, so that's a new series. Okay, that's number one announcement. Number two announcement is that there'll be a special presentation later this week to be announced sometime Wednesday night onwards, sponsored by my good friend Earl Dukes Roberts. A presentation on the halachas of a chayal tzahal on Shabbos. Is he have the same latitude to work as a Hatzalah worker, or there's special dinim because it's a matzav of Mochemes mitzvah? We're going to research. These shilos were paskin by very big gedolim who were alive at the time of when the state was established. Everyone was very excited by the Medina initially. Initially most people were very excited, and the poskim really got to work on all the halachas that could pertain to governing ourselves, including having an army. And Rav Lezer Yudah Waldenberg Tzitz Eliezer wrote a 3-volume Sefer Hilchos Medina, which was reviewed by a lot of other gedolim. So that would be the base of discussion, what he wrote back in the 1950s. When the state was just getting started, but we'll also cross-reference with later poskim that also paskin shalos for tzahal. It should be a very interesting presentation. Like I said, sponsored by Earl Duke Roberts, and it will be sometime from Wednesday night onward. So as I've been saying in all my presentations today, Baruch Hashem, it's sad that we were propelled into action because of what's going on in Eretz Yisrael. But at least, Baruch Hashem, we are responding. Maybe we could be doing even more, but we are responding, and we're putting out shiurim faster than my webmaster, Reb Tzvi Lebekin, can post on my regular site. So it's easy to just, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe. You get notifications every time something new gets posted. And check in the YouTube channel regularly, because anyone who's been following recently, lots of new stuff goes up every single day. Some days even as much as 3 or 4 new shiurim. So subscribe to YouTube channel, and that way you'll be on top of everything. Okay, so now we continue with the Reishis Chochma and Shar Hayira. So much Zohar. Okay. Okay. So now we're talking about, the midah of Malchus per se, the midah of Malchus, right? I am not going to, recap what we did in the, in the, previous, everything's archived. Take a look. But he's going further, the midah of Malchus, why it gets its own pasuk Hashem Mamlacha V'Misnasa Kol Rosh, and how that's directly connected to Yiras Hashem, which is what we're learning right now. Right. So now that we find that in the Ksuvim, right? That part of Tanakh. A lot of psukim that the midah of Malchus is attributed Hagdula, greatness and Memshal and governance. Like in Tilim, Gadol Adonenu V'Rav Koach. Great is our master, and he is of great power. So you remember, we have to the chiyuv of Yira, the Zohar Torah says you have to be aware and be in full recognition that Rav V'Sholit. He is of great power and of total dominance. That's called Adonai. Now the name Adonenu is Lashon Adnus, which is the shame. Aleph Daled Nun Yud is the shame of the Midah of Malchus. Chemash Pishur Bezor Parshas Bereshis, and also what it says Zor Parshas Bereshis, Daf Yud Tes Amud Aleph in the standard edition, but pasuk, regarding the pasuk from Eicha. Chadoshim labkorim Rabba, renewed every morning. Great is your faith. Rabba emunasecha. Great Rav Koach, like Rav Vishali. Rabba emunasecha. No, the Midah of Malchus is where we get our emuna from, like we said, right? So, and also v'chein malchuscha malchus kol olamim umemshaltcha b'chol davadar. So it is shalit. Right, your malchus is the malchus of all the worlds. Right, that's the malchus contains all the worlds, and your reign, your governance, that's shalit. It was a rav v'shalit. Your reign is in every generation, and that's from the midah of malchus. Malchuscha, from malchuscha comes from memshaltcha, your shlita, your control over every generation. So this is how the midah of malchus is rav v'shalit. So now going back that the Zohar said that Yiras Hashem is the recognition that Hashem is Rav, he's of great power, Shalit, he's of total government, he's Ikr v'Shar, and he is the foundation and the root of all the worlds, meaning he is the life source of all the worlds. Right? So that aspect of being the life source of all the worlds we also find, right? Dam Ken Nemar also says Malchuscha, your midah of Malchus is the Malchus Kol Olamim, right? The midah of Malchus is where all the worlds are, right? And that's a big yesod, which I believe he's going to explain. Malchus, the midah of Malchus is not just a certain hashpah. It is that midah is where things are. The other midas, the other 9 midas are mashpia. Malchus is where the thing is. It's called the makom. It's called the makom. So it means, Malchus Kol refers to the makom that Hashem, projected to put the world, right? After the tzimtzum. That halal, where the world is called Malchus. It's Malchus Kol. Right? V'yuvan in Yonah b'soid sof ma'aser machshava tchila. So now listen, another way of why Malchus, is the midah of Yira, which we say is to be makir, the Ribbon Shalom is everything, which is, he's the all, everything means he's the all powerful, and he's the one who's in control, and he's the one life source that gives life. That's what we mean by that, right? Not more than that, right? We're not pantheists, right? But what we mean by that also, so this is how the Ribbon Shalom is above everything, and yet Malchus is considered to be the lowest midah. It's the Gemara Maisa. It's the Seif Maisa, right? But Seif Maisa b'machshava tchila. Seif Maisa tchila b'machshava. What's last in action is really first in thought. The last in action is, even though it's technically the last, it's the most chashuv, because it's the first thing that it's the Reishis HaMachshava. I am b'tikkun. Let's take a look at the Tikkunei Zohar, right? The Hakdama Yudal from Beis in certain editions. Being Hashem Kanani Reishis Darko Hashem, which Chazal darshan in the Torah. Hashem, took me, acquired me to be the beginning of His ways. That's the Torah, which is Reishis Darko. It's the Shorosh of all the Olamis, right? V'gomer, and take a look. So over there it talks about Sof Ma'aser Machshava Tchila, and this relates to what we learned extensively in the Hakdama of this Sefer, that that everything, the limud is almanas lasos. So the almanas lasos is the Reishis HaMachshava, that's the Sof HaMaisa, right? The almanas lasos, which is Malchus, is the lasos, the Gemara Maisa, right? That's what Yira is. That your whole Yira, which is Yira, that's Kodesh Chochma, is to have in mind that it's almanas lasos should come to Gemara Maisa. So the Sof Maisa is Reishis HaMachshava. Right. ואין צורך לערוך מבחינה זו שמאחר שיוד כיבו כיקור שורש כל העם מגרש האל וגילי פעולסה הוא על יודהו כדפרש לאל שנקרס גידול הגבור הסייס על הכוסי וכולי קמי קולו. Right, so now I don't have to talk too much about this, right? because we already, indeed, although we already said that the name Yud K Vav K is like the Ikar and Shorsh of all the Olamas, right? Right. But the name Yud K Vav K, which is the Ikar and Shorsh of Olamas, is hidden, right? What's the Gilui? What reveals the power of Yud K Vav K, the Shem Adnos? And that's the secret of why we don't, Yud K Vav K, we pronounce Adon. We when we say Yud K Vav K, we pronounce it Alf Dal Nun Yud, because the midah of Malchus is the gilui of the koch of the Shem Havaya. Without the midah of Malchus, the Shem Havaya would remain hidden. So that's why it's called, so it's written Yud K Vav K, but it's pronounced Adnos. The pronouncing is how it's revealed, right? The Gemara Maisa, is also shows you, through reverse engineering, you could see all the kochos that went into it. But those kochos were invisible until it came to the Gemara Maisa, and then the Gemara Maisa is made on all the kochos that were put into it. And that's how the midah of Malchus is the gilui of everything, including the name Yud Kei Vav Kei. Right? Right? K'brasho that we swear so Shiri Kreis Gdul Gvor Tveres to say this al Kusei. Cool, coming out through the midah of Malchus, you see Gedula Gvor Tveres, even though those are midas in their own right, Gedula Gvor Tiferes, but it's through the midah of Malchus that you see all these midas that attest to God's divinity, because God Himself and the Lomi by him that we never talk about, but even his Ratzon of Ein Sof that we do talk about is all invisible, right? We see these midas, but we only see these midas, even those midas we only see through the Malchus, right? And all these midas, like nothing to him. Mitzad, the Ein Sof is just in a league onto his own, way above the midas with which he is manning the world, which are all only visible through the midah of Malchus. Right, and also this aspect is in it. Right, right, and Rav Shimon Bar Yochai explained this, but pasuk in the pasuk, Vaterev Chochma Shlomo v'Gomer Shlomo Chochma was so massive. Omar, just 2 minutes, right? It said, I'm going to have to cut this one short. I have a little bit of an emergency here. So let's just finish this Zohar. Right, and we'll continue. I'm sorry, something came up. So let's just finish this. So the Zohar says on this, Sierra, the moon, which is Kaidur connected the midah of Malchus. Chama, right, is Tiferes, and Levana is Malchus. The moon, Elef Turin Ravin Kamei, there's like 1,000 great mountains in front of it. Right? The Kul Neshiva Chad Havul Kamei, and and there's all with like one right, and all these and it's all like just like those 1,000 great mountains are just like just one breath, pushes them away, right? Elef Naharin Sagin Lo Ubigmir Chad Gamalhon. So the as the word, the moon, which is the midah of mountains, can suck in 1,000 mountains in one shot, right? Or it's like just like one breath in front of it. And also, there's like 1,000 rivers, and the midah of mountains could just swallow them up in one sip, right? Right. So now, what does this mean? So Kedarko, he'll explain Zohar with Zohar. So let's just do one more. So came Parshas Pinchas. So in the Parshas Pinchas, so Zohar Chel Gimel Reishmon Bezel shows El Razu. The secret is like this. Begin this Beimor turn. There's this massive animal that sits on 1,000 mountains. Vav Turim Achas Choyama, and it eats 1,000 mountains, right, every day. Right, Kun Ikar, and they're all called, these creatures are all called behemos. Right. Wait, I guess the mountains themselves, eats mountains, because these mountains themselves are called behemos, That's why it consumes these mountains. Valda Tanina, and in this we learned this bira achel bire. There are animals that eat other animals, right? Now these animals, right? What are they made out of? Me'esha, right? These animals are made out of pure fire. These animals that are these massive mountains, as a metaphor, right, that are eaten from by this other super animal. They're made out of fire. And all these animals, which are big like mountains, like 1,000 mountains, right? And they're made out of fire. This super animal, just with one lick, eats them all. Although the it is what it says. Right, Hashem, your Lord, is a consuming fire. Eshol meaning fire that consumes fire, right? Kelkana, God of vengeance, right? Right. V'chomay yardin mula b'shishnin v'yavasa givachada. Now all the water in the Jordan, right? That the Jordan fills up in the course of 6 years. It, right, can drink it up in one sip. Right, this is what it says in Eov Yiftach Ki Agiach Yaram Pil. Right, it will, let's see security when the Jordan reaches its mouth. Akashah, this is what the Zohar says. Okay, so now it still doesn't. We have to add yet another Zohar to or explain the Zohar to understand the message. So Bemzu totally starts this animal, is right, is dependent on how we, the creatures on earth, awaken with our mitzvah observes. Shigor was so ben mi bin yamin, right? This animal is ben is gematria behema. It's the name ban, the same ban, which is gematria behema, which is also the permutation of the name Yud Kei Vav Kei. That's parallel to the midah of Malchus. It's ben from bin yamin. Who saw shemen al roshcha lo yachsar. Right, you should never have any missing any oil on your head, which is tshuva. We're going to explain this more in Sharava Reish in Perak Hamishi. That's the Shanosh Yechsar. Zokiaba B'chilas Ayom Rav Shoed Ikar Kula Kamei and get an Arba Osis Goy Mitzgal Sidei Shemaras V'Yakom Laharach. So this animal, that's all consuming animals, the meat of Malchus, that's the Eish Ochla, right? It is, it consumes all. Okay. Obviously, he's just giving us the general gist of what the Zohar means, because it's all just to strike fear of God into us. He's not breaking it down, unpacking every single prat over here. He wants to give us a general gist to give us your Shemaim, right? It could be that these 4 levels: Rav, Shalit, Ikra, and Shorosh, Kula, Kamekla, and all these things are like nothing to the Ein Sof. It could be that they're connected the 4 names of 4 letters of Yud Kei Vav Kei. Rav, much, that's Gedula, that's Chesed. Shalit, right, power, dominance. That could be connected, Bina, right, Gvura, right, and Ikra v'Sharsha, Ikra and Shorish, right. So it is the Vav, that's the meat of Tiferes, the Ikr, central column of reality, meat of Tiferes, right? Ikr, like the Ikr of the tree, right? Central column. And then the final, and then Sharsha, the roots, that's the Malchus. That's the roots, how things are rooted on earth or that's how we're rooted in heaven, but the truth is, the bottom line is that even though we're referring to all 4 midas when all 4 categories of midas, I should say, 4 types of midas connected for us is a shame. At the end of the day, it's the shame adnus that is the midah of malchus that makes everything visible to us. So shame malchus is color it all. Okay, we are going to stop here. What a safer. Okay, great. We're going to stop here. We will resume another time. Okay.